All right, so over the years, Nigeria's payment system has evolved into one of the most advanced in Africa, driving financial inclusion, innovation, and a growing digital economy. Now, the Nigeria Interbank Settlement System, that's NIBSS, has taken a major step forward with its transition from the long-standing NIBSS Instant Payment Platform, NIPS, to the more advanced Nigeria Payment Switch, NPS. Let's discuss this now with Ramon Bello, who's the General Manager at Paga Engine, joining me right here in the studio. It's good to have you, sir. Good morning.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Fantastic. So, the circular by CBN says they're mandating all licensed payment operators to adopt the ISO 20022 messaging standard.
That's correct.
Full compliance of both ISO 20022 migration, geotagging. We have a deadline, I think October 31st.
That's correct.
That's around the corner.
That's around the corner. That's correct.
Are you nervous?
Not really.
for our payment system,
no.
It seems so close.
Yeah.
Then the minimum operating system for all terminals must be Android OS V10. So let's start, with the basics now. Talk to me about this transition from NIPS to NPS.
Okay. So for the last, I guess more than a decade, I think since 2021, we've had the NIP, which has been the engine behind interbank transaction in Nigeria.
Because I remember before now, when you're trying to make transfers, if the person you're sending money to say, please make it instant,
yeah,
it has to be instant. I don't want the one that will come in like 3 days.
So that engine that makes it possible for you to send money from Bank A to Bank B, and in less than a second, you see it in Bank B. That is what the NIP does. And this has been the system that has powered Nigerian payment system over the last 14, 15 years. And it has done a great job. Kudos to the central bank, to the NIPS team. They've built an engine that has really unlocked Nigerian payment system. And when it comes to interoperable bank transfer in Africa, Nigeria is number one. Like, there are only 1 or 2 countries that come close, not at par. And the system that has really made that possible is the NIP. And what is happening now is Nigeria is more like ready for phase 2. As you know, we're targeting $1 trillion economy. You need a payment engine that can really make that happen. NIP has really done a good job. But we are approaching, that stage where we need to make that transition. And I think that's where the conversation around the ISO 2022 comes into play, in the sense that it unlocks a new level for the payment system in Nigeria, where some of the evolving issue that has, started coming up around NIP, this new payment system really handles them much better. So, for everyday Nigerian is going to unlock a new level where you send money from a Bank A to Bank B, and in less than a second, the money just gets there.
That's for the Nigeria Payment Switch.
Yeah, that's the NPS. Is actually the National Payment
National Payment Switch. Okay.
Yes, system.
Yes. All right.
So it's really a big upgrade for Nigeria, and looking at an economy that is targeting $1 trillion very soon. This is the kind of upgrade that we need that will really make that happen. And it's going to be one of the first in Africa when it comes to adopting this new standard. And also, it's a standard that would power billions of transactions almost every second. So it's really a big deal for Nigeria.
So, definitely when you hear, upgrades, migration, as a user of whatever service, that is, most of the time there's a risk of issues, glitches, failed transactions. Is there a risk we're going to see that with this migration?
So this is not going to be starting from the scratch. It is building off what we already have, which is what I've been discussing, the NIP. It's more like you're building a V2 of the same thing, only that you've done it in a way that you look at what you already have, and you've seen all the different aspects of it that needs optimization. And what you're doing with this upgrade is to fix all those things. Some are fundamental in the initial design of what we have today. And what this new system is doing is fixing those specific areas. So it's not us starting from the scratch. It is us basically, moving to the next level. So when it comes to, expectation around, could this, prompt something breaking, something not working, this is not the kind of system that will do that, because we're not starting from the scratch. We're basically just looking at what we already have, and we're making all the update that needs to happen. So again, kudos to the NIPS team and to the central bank for also pushing this forward. This is the kind of upgrade that Nigeria needs at this point. And as we're targeting, $1 trillion, this is the type of update that we need, that needs to happen. So when looking at the timeline, I think it's much visible. It doesn't mean like the communication started yesterday. It had been an ongoing engagement up to this point. So what we're expecting then is, in the next couple of weeks, we start seeing a lot of difference, where a lot of banks will start moving, processing transactions using the new payment system. And for a customer, it really wouldn't make much of a difference.
So the customer you don't have to do anything.
You don't have to do anything.
On your end.
You don't have to do anything. The only thing you see is that, I send this money, it's much faster now. Those are the kind of experience you have. And if you have some kind of experience where, typically it takes maybe like few seconds, then think of it like that timing, cut it into half. This is the kind of speed you have. And if there's, any other type of experience you have in the past where, there's some time in the day, you do some transaction on some platform, you don't get those kind of experience, but this fix all of those minor things, where even at peak time, you would have as much good experience as you will have as any other time.
Because I remember there was one time, I went to a supermarket, I was trying to, make a payment, and the traditional banks didn't work. The fintechs didn't work. And the complaint that time was, NIBSS is down, and that's why the payments are not going. It was quite a hellish day. I remember that day, there were so many customers trying to make payments. Nobody could make payments, except you were maybe doing from a fintech, using the same fintech company, then the payment would actually work. So is that going to be a thing of the past, and we're not going to see here, NIBSS is down?
So those type of issues are what I referenced earlier, that, look at the current system and you think of it like, okay, what are the things that makes those kind of experience happen? Where you are standing there, there are fundamentals behind the scene, where it's not really the bank, there's a system in between them that is moving those transactions. So when one of the issues you see now is, I remember late 2023 during the cashless, move by the governor. It was a lot of things, like a lot of transaction has to happen digitally. And we all know the kind of experience.
It's interesting you would mention that, because now I'm imagining if we had NPS when we were trying to do the cashless policy, would the banks have been able to handle?
It would have been a total game changer. Because what happened back then is there's a lot happening at the same time, where the current system seems to have gotten to the point where it got too many traffic than expected. And the way the current design works is there's a lot of traffic coming from each of the banks, bombarding the system, and because there's a lot also happening in the market, that creates a type of pressure that the system could not handle. So this new design and this new upgrade that we're getting is actually designed for that, where if it gets to any point in time, we wanted to try that kind of,
Maybe we'll give it another shot, the cashless.
You never know. But
or redesign 2.0.
You never know.
All right.
The key thing is, if that were to happen, this is the type of system we need to be in place before we do that.
Fantastic. We'll keep tracking it, and when the migration is done, we will track and see how fast transactions go. Thank you so much. I'm Mr. Ramon Bello, General Manager, Paga Engine. Thank you for coming on today.
Thank you very much.
All right, we'll take a moment now.